I had a special request to make a couple special right triangle videos, so here we go. Okay. These need to be worked out the same way every single time, and if you do it this way, I promise you, you'll get the answer. So I look at this triangle. I recognize it, well, if that's 60, that's 90, then this has to be 30. So I recognize it as a 30, 60, 90 triangle. I then go to my formula chart, and I find the 30, 60, 90 triangle on my sheet. And I look at what it says, and it tells me the side opposite from the 30 degrees has to be the x. So I go to my triangle. The side opposite the 30 degrees, which in this one is the 8, has to be equal to x. So x equals 8. Okay? Go back to the chart. The side opposite 60 degrees is equal to x root 3. So the side opposite 60, which is the v, has to be equal to x root 3. Go back to my chart again, and the hypotenuse, the side opposite the 90 degrees, is equal to 2x. So the hypotenuse here, which is u, has to be equal to 2x. So now, what am I after? I'm trying to find v, and I'm trying to find u. Well, what does it tell me v is equal to? It tells me right here, v equals x times root 3. But we already know what x is. This tells us that x equals 8. So instead of putting v equals x root 3, again, v equals x root 3, we already knew that from here, but we know from right here that x is equal to 8. So then v has to be equal to 8 root 3. So there's the v. Okay, now how do we get the u? Well, it tells us right here how to get the u. It tells us that u is equal to 2 times x. But again, we know right here that x is equal to 8. So u must be equal to 2 times 8, which is just 16. That's it. That's all there is to these problems. Just label the triangle on the paper the way it's labeled on your chart and work it out. Okay, so let's do one more. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change this x to an a, because that seems to confuse some of us in the class. Okay, so there's my a. I see this one again, and I recognize it as a 30, 60, 90 triangle, so that is 30. Now I'm going to label. I go to my formula chart, and I see, okay, the side opposite 30 degrees is x. So this opposite 30 degrees has to be the x. Okay, so x equals y. Go back to my formula chart. The side opposite 60 degrees is x root 3. So there's 60 degrees, so the a must be equal to x root 3. And the hypotenuse, which is the side opposite from the right angle, is equal to 2x. So this one, the hypotenuse, again has to be equal to 2x. So there's my problem. That's all I've got. All I've got to do is figure out what x is. But this tells me how to get the x right there, because this says 8 root 5 equals 2 times x. So if 8 root 5 is equal to 2 times x, all I have to do now is divide both sides by 2. I can divide 8 by 2 because that 8's not in the box. So 4 root 5 is equal to x. I can't divide the root 5 by the 2 because that 5 is inside the radical box, the 2 is not. But I can divide the 8 and the 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That radical stays there. So x equals 4 root 5. So now, we just said right here that y is equal to x. So we're trying to figure out what y is. Well, y, if y equals x and x equals 4 root 5, then y has to be equal to 4 root 5. This tells us that a equals x times root 3. Well, what is x? We just found it. It's 4 root 5. So a equals x times root 3. So the x is 4 root 3. So the x is 4 root 5, and I have to multiply that times root 3. Well, the 5 is inside the radical box, so was the 3. I can multiply those together. So the a equals 4 times root 15. So the y we got to be 4 root 5, and the a we got to be 4 root 15. That's all there is to these.